right, and you're on.
You know, I've had an opportunity to walk around the city quite a bit, and we've got lots to talk about that's happening here in the city. Welcome, welcome, welcome once again. I'm Joe Kelleher. Thank you for visiting Schenectady Online with Joe Kelleher. We are live at the SAC Studios, SACC, the Schenectady Access Cable Council at 34 J Street. Make sure you tune in to this and watch this TV show and other shows that we have online available at your disposal 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at www.sacc.tv. Welcome once again. It's great to speak with you and great to have you here with us. We've got plenty to talk about. As I mentioned, one of the biggest things that people are talking around here about here in the city are not necessarily the taxes and not necessarily the casino. The number one thing that we've talked about, or that I've heard when I've talked to people here in the city, is, you guessed it, potholes. The biggest thing right now are the streets. So what have I done to take care of that? Well, it's time to start taking pictures of the potholes here in our city. And I'm leaving it up to you, our viewers, to help me out with that. Let me know. Take a picture and send it to me, and I'm going to give you that email address. You can send it to me at joe@kelleherforcouncil.com. That's KELLEHERFORCOUNCIL.com. You can also post it up on Facebook. My Facebook site is Joe Kelleher or actually you can just look for me on there for Joe Kelleher, right here in the city of Schenectady. You'll find me up there on multiple different websites. Any one of them is fine, really. But that's the biggest thing. I've already started taking some pictures, and up on my website, I'll be posting up some of these pictures to let the city know where some of these potholes are. Some of these have been there since last year, and they still haven't been taken care of yet. Up on Altamont Avenue, we're over at a friend's house and saw a big pothole right in front of his street, right in front of 526 Altamont, the new senior citizen living center there. And this pothole is huge. Multiple people losing their hubcaps as they go over it. And right around that area, you've seen it along Altamont Avenue, Chrysler, Bradley Street, in Clifton Park, excuse me, Central Park, right in the center of Central Park. They finally did patch up some of those there and put some of the paint along. But did you notice along Central Parkway where that whole section from Wright Street all the way down to the end, up by, is it Cherokee, I believe it is, where they paved that entire strip, looks great, rides great. I've ridden it on the motorcycle and in the car, and but all the side streets, well, we've got some potholes along there too. So it's time to let the city know what our concerns are. They've certainly got enough of our money. It's time to make it go to work. While we were in the course of doing and walking around for petitions and talking with people here in the city, we happened to notice, I happened to stop at home of one of the folks that works for the city. And I finally got the answer to one of the questions that I had asked of the city council at one of the meetings back a few months ago. Now, if you recall, and if you go back on the city council meetings, you'll notice that I had asked why it costs 4 times more to pave a half-mile of road here in the city than it does in any of the surrounding communities. I asked that question. The response that I got back was half of the money was taken out and given to the recreational fund. But again, that's not the question that I asked. The question I asked was, if it costs $100,000 to pave that much road in other municipalities in the area, why does it cost 4 times more here in the city of Schenectady? I finally got a response that none of the city council folks were able to answer, because I went to the right people and I asked. And the folks at the city engineering department advised me, not only were they going to be doing paving of the streets, they were going to be doing the curbs and they were doing sidewalks too. That I can see. And they explained to me, not only is it just a straight flat road, there are curvatures to the road because you have to be concerned about water runoff. so we don't go driving through puddles, so that the water goes off into the gutters. The manhole covers, any of those other covers, have to be graded exactly the same way so that the ride is nice and smooth. It can't be flat. It has to be graded properly. That all takes a lot of money. And this was the only person who was able to answer my questions, and it was truly appreciated. And I let that person know that too, because what the city council was not able to answer, I, as a citizen, went out and found out myself. And that's what you, as a citizen of the city of Schenectady, can do too. Make the effort, go and talk to the right people. If you can't find the right people, ask. If you're not getting the right answers to your questions, and I'm saying the right answers, not necessarily the answers that you're giving you, but you're getting answers to other questions that you're not answering, make sure you ask the question again. If you don't get the right answers, find somebody who can get them for you. Talk to any of your city council folks. It's their job, as it's my job, to go out and find those answers for you. This is only a TV show for me, okay? Well, I shouldn't say only. It's not only a TV show. It's an opportunity for you, the people, to talk about the things that are happening here in the city of Schenectady, and that's what I want to be able to do. So the potholes are one of the things that we talked about, but in taking a look at the last city council meeting, unfortunately the agenda isn't up for next week's meeting as of yet, so make sure that you check the city's website and take a look at the agenda and what's going to be happening so that you have an opportunity to speak. We're starting to see the parking meters up and about. Now, they do have the meter stations where you can use your credit card. They're solar powered. These are great opportunities. But again, these funds are coming out of the city coffers, whereas we have over $3 million in unpaid parking violations that could be taking a lot of this for us. If you went to any collector and any hospital, any business that needs to collect a debt, they'll go to a debt collection agency. That debt collection agency will take X number off the top, and the rest will go to the corporation or the company. Well, the city of Schenectady is incorporated, and just like any other business, it needs to be run properly like a business. You, the taxpayers, are the people who are benefiting by what happens with the city. But are your tax dollars being used properly? And are we going and collecting the debt that's owed to the city of Schenectady? And the answer is clearly no. With a collection agency that goes out and can actually tell the people who have the violations against the city, of traffic violations that is, that their licenses can be suspended until those are paid. We can work with the Department of Motor Vehicles. It's happened in other municipalities. It happens in Albany, it happens in Saratoga, it happens in Troy. The city of Schenectady should not be any different. And we can collect our share of $3 million, and what do you think that's going to help? That's going to help make our taxes lower. That's going to help pay for things that the city wants. That's going to help for community improvements, and it's going to benefit, number one, as I mentioned earlier, to lower our taxes. And that's one of the biggest things. How about if some of the monies that we collect help to pave some of the roads, help to cover some of these potholes? All these things, if it's done properly, they move money from one place to another all the time. How about moving some of these outstanding debts that we collect and giving it to emergency services and to helping to pave and fill in the potholes, pave the roads and fill in the potholes? There's an opportunity for us. Make sure you let your people know, the people that you want to see, that you want to speak to on City Council, or the people that you'd like to see up on City Council. Make sure that they know what's going on, and you're going to have an opportunity to meet one of those folks, namely myself. You'll have an opportunity, and I'll tell you about those coming up very shortly. So a lot of other things happening here in the city. I remember the last meeting that we had, my last show, I mentioned about Angelo Mazzone, and I was mistaken on something that I had said about that. With Angelo, Mazzone Hospitality made a deal not with Rush Street Gaming and Galisi for the casino that they want to put here in the city of Schenectady. It was for the one that's going on in East Greenbush. So it's interesting to see that here's a gentleman, and he truly is a gentleman. He gives of himself and his businesses all the time, and you see it in fundraisers. So Angelo, thank you very much for all that you do. You see, he's not putting it here in Schenectady. He's putting his foot forward on the one over in East Greenbush. So that's something to look into. And right along those lines, going back into the casino, a couple things that I was able to read up on and follow up on. Number one, if you take a look at the timeline with the trainings that they have over at the Schenectady County Community College, the program that they have for the gaming, that started and just happened to start about maybe a year, half ago, maybe 2 years ago, somewhere along that timeline. But isn't it interesting how it falls into the timeline that we just happen to have a gaming venue that's looking to come in here to the city of Schenectady? It kind of looks like that chicken egg scenario that you wonder which one happened to come first. And I think if we look into, if we look back a little further, we may actually see that there was talk of a casino going into the Alco site way back when, and that's why we started to see the Schenectady County Community College have this gaming program. In following up a little bit more on that, there was an article just recently in the Schenectady Gazette. In fact, it's dated Tuesday, July 8th, where Haley Vaccaro had mentioned about some of the lobbying efforts that were going into some of the local organizations that are looking to put games in, such as one of the campaign donations that went from the Gleacy agency into different organizations that help to fund not only politicians but other organizations. So a lot of lobbying efforts. Lobbying like Rush Street Gaming spending on lobbyists $15,000. Campaign donations from Saratoga Harness to the tune of $423,000. David Flom of Flom Management. And all of this information is available right up on the New York State website. It's the New York Public Interest Research Group and New York State Joint Commission on Public Ethics. Michael Melek, who donated $16,000 and change. So if the Gillespie Group, who donated $45,000. So it's interesting that if you follow the money, you start to see where things start to happen. In fact, if you follow the money, it turns out that we find, I did some more research with the Gillespie Group and found that there's a young lady who now is training to be the new assessor for the city of Schenectady. Molly McElroy, who is the daughter of a gentleman who works for the Gillespie Group out of Rotterdam. And in her information is public, and you can find it on LinkedIn. Her background is not at all a part of assessments at all. She has a background in education, and she does have a very extensive background. She also has a background in business, but I don't see anything in there that even remotely suggests she has any experience whatsoever being fresh out of school in any kind of assessment. So I know that she's been being trained and she's being groomed by the city of Schenectady. But these, again, are our assessments that she's going to be taking care of. And it seems that she's only going to be a deputy assessor because it's going to be overseen by the city finance department. So now we can look into that a little bit further, and I plan to look into that a little bit further, but I'm going to find out the information, and I'm going to report back to you, the citizens of Schenectady, the taxpayers of Schenectady. That's my job to you, and that's what I promise to you. I will look into it, and I will find out more. Taking a look at the city of Schenectady as well, with the advisory board, the Affirmative Action Advisory Board. Now, I did a paper recently in where I did a comparison between affirmative action and equal opportunity. For the Affirmative Action Board, and it was interesting to learn the differences between the two of them, and I can post that information up so that you folks can see it, and I'll post that up on my website too. But if you take a look, and I just need to readjust here, sorry. If you remember back a few months ago, where they were looking for people to get on the Affirmative Action Advisory Board and taking resumes. This is a volunteer advisory board. They finally came around to appointing 7 people, but if you recall back, there was a lot of controversy when it first came about, and the resumes started to come in. One of the biggest controversies that went through the city, and is still going through the city, is where Mr. Kosher had mentioned that there were a multitude of, let's say, I'm trying to remember exactly how it was put. It was mentioned that there were a lot of number of non-whites or non-Caucasian resumes, and only a minute amount of people who were allegedly Caucasian. That raised a big question as to the integrity and as to what was going to happen with this. Marion Porterfield then went out and did some investigation on her own and found that there were multiple boards where this wasn't even looked at all. Well, the results are in, and it seems that the Gazette article that was done by Kathleen Moore back on Monday, July 7th, talked about some of the city contractors ignoring the goals of hiring minorities to do the jobs. So I urge you to look into this a little bit further. What is it that you want to see as a people? Do we want to see, as the city of Schenectady and the taxpayers in Schenectady, is our biggest concern that of having minorities make sure that they can come in and do the job, okay? Or is it that the job gets done properly by the right and properly qualified people? If we can get people who fall into the affirmative action category, if you will, and be able to do the job properly and benefit our tax dollars, that should be our main concern. Okay? Believe me, I am all about affirmative action and giving everybody the proper opportunities. That's where it should be. Everybody should have the same opportunity. If one person over another, the best qualified candidate who's going to do the job in the best fashion for us, the people, and get our money's worth out of it, is the person who should get that job. We need to see more of that happen. We need to see more competitiveness and a little less cronyism, and we're going to get more bang for our buck. It happens in any other business. If you look through ads for Price Chopper, for ShopRite, for all these different stores, you see competitive ads. And the one who's going to give you the same product for the least money is going to get your business. There shouldn't be any different here in the city of Schenectady. We need to get the same product for less money. We have to do it in our own pockets, with our own families, and our own businesses every day. The city should take no different stance than what we would do in our businesses and inside our homes. Let's turn to some good news that's happening here in the city of Schenectady. And we really need that right now. There's a lot of great things that are happening, such as the new Summer Film Festival in memory of film critic Dan DiNicola. This on Friday nights, starting the last Friday night of this month, July 27th, down by Pareca's, they're going to have outdoor films where you can go out and watch some of these films outdoor. Take a look on their website, take a look on their Facebook page. Some really, really great films being posted up over there that you're going to be able to see. films like Moonstruck, which was one of my favorites. There's, let's see, Big Night on August 1st, Fellini's on, let's see, I see, oh, Fellini's 8½, on August 8th, Roman Holiday on August 15th. So lots of great films. Make sure you stop down over there. You'll see me down there too, along with my family. And we hope to see you. Please, please, please come up and say hi. Happening from this weekend, starting on Friday night, as a matter of fact, we've got the Schenectady Summer Nights. And that's going on in downtown Schenectady, right along State Street, J Street. Stop down there. You're going to see some great entertainment, including the great Grand Central Station. They're going to be there. Then afterward, they're going to be up in the tent over at in Rotterdam, over at the Tuscan Villa. So you can see there, stop in, say hi to Peter Guidarelli, and they've got some great drinks over that way, some great food. Make sure you partake in both of those events, as we'll likely be out of both of those too. Plus, you've also got the Our Lady of Mount Carmel Festival going on all weekend long, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, some great acts, great entertainment, all to benefit a fantastic local cause, Our Lady of Mount Carmel, the school and the church up over there. They've been doing this for decades now. Make sure you go up there, visit them, and we'll see you up there too. In fact, you're also going to see my good friends Fred Lee and his team from the Schenectady Neighborhood Watch. We hope to see you up there too. Taking a look at some other things happening around, we've got the farmers markets all over the place. In fact, going on right now as we speak. We've got the farmers market going on for Roots and Wisdom. That's over on Fair Avenue. Bellevue Farmers Market going on right now and every Thursday from 4 to 7 p.m. That's up in Bellevue at the Church for Maranatha Ministries on Broadway. They accept SNAP credit cards and debit cards. You've also got the Schenectady Green Market, J Street in front of City Hall on Thursdays from 11 to 2, as well as the Green Market on Sundays. Steinmetz Park Farmers Market going on every July starting this month. July 12th, an exciting new program is the Steinmetz Park Music. And I did get some information that the music for this weekend, tomorrow, is not going to be available. I think they're going to pick that up next weekend. And Julia, thanks for letting me know, and please let me know what the schedule is so we can let our viewers know too. Sheridan Plaza Farmers Market going on every Friday from 2 to 6 p.m. They also accept SNAP credit cards and debit cards. That goes on through September. And we've still got even more. Make sure you stop by the American Legion. That's tomorrow morning. Excuse me, on every Saturday morning. In fact, this weekend, you'll not only see me back in the kitchen cooking, you'll also see my wife, and she'll be taking care of the funds up in front and helping to serve you and taking your orders. Linda, that's going on every Saturday. This Saturday, like I said, I'll be cooking from 8 o'clock in the morning until 10:30 in the morning, and that goes on every Saturday. Breakfast, only $5, and it's made to order. So come out and see us there. Also going on, I wanted to mention that you have every opportunity, and if you're a city resident, you need to get out and get registered to vote. If you want to come out and vote, come and see me. I have voter registration forms. Go down to the Board of Elections. They can fill one out. They can help you fill one out. They can't fill it out for you. You need to sign it. Or if you need them to fill it out for you, you need assistance, you just need to tell them, you just need to sign the bottom in whatever way you possibly can. But make sure you get out to register to vote. Some of the events, the public events that I'll be at coming up here, and we're going to close with that. I'll be out at the Festa on Friday. That's tomorrow night. We'll be out Friday, Saturday, and possibly Sunday too, I believe. Also on Friday night, we'll be out at the Schenectady Summer Nights. So stop by and see me. We'll have information for you if you so request it. But I'd love to meet more of you and find out more of what you want to see here on the program and the things that you'd like me to find out and talk about. Also coming up is a meet and greet. That's going to be at Arthur's Market on Sunday, July 20th. Mark your calendar from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. Entertainment by my good friend Joe Sinatra and friends. Lots of other folks going to be out over there. Richard Janess is going to be putting on a free buffet over that way. Please stop by and see us. Richard, thank you. Joe, thank you very much. We look forward to seeing more folks out over that way for that meet and greet at Arthur's Market on Ferry Street in historic Stockade. Also, make sure you stop out to the Rose Garden in Schenectady at Central Park on July 27th, that's Sunday, from 1 to 3 p.m. for an event called Just Desserts. My good friend, Chef Philip Bowden, and several other folks, including the amazing Grace, who's in our audience here right in the studio today, will be cooking and providing some great, tasty treats for us. Pig roast coming up on August 3rd. That's going to be at the American Legion on 1809 Union Street. It's right outside the city limits in Schenectady. But the reason I hold so many events there, and the reason I have so much on there, is it's the only American Legion home left in the county of Schenectady. It serves the entire county, all veterans who served during wartime. Please stop by and see us. You can find out more about them online at American Legion Post 1092. If you do a search for them, you'll find their Facebook page and more information about them. Please stop by, send us a note, give us a call. We'd love to see you out and about at any one of these or the many other events. Again, send me your pothole pictures. You can send them to joe@kelleherforcouncil.com or look me up on Facebook or Twitter. We'll see you again next time here, Schenectady Online Live on www.sacc.tv. I'm Joe Kelleher. Thanks so much for stopping by. It was a pleasure to have you.